Hey, good morning. It's Linda again. How you doing? Welcome back. Thanks for coming for level 3. We're just going to gradually build up our understanding and our tools for healing the emotional piece of the part of us that needs to overeat out of anxiety, fear, trauma, whatever it is that triggers that feeling of, I just got to stuff it. I just got to stuff it. I just got to bury it. I just got to get rid of this feeling. And anyone sitting here in front of me right now, you already know that you have found temporary comfort in sugar, temporary comfort in carbs, temporary comfort in eating too much, eating too fast, eating without consciousness. It has been like a stopgap, a shock to displace those feelings that are rising up from inside. So today I'm going to give you a new tool for dealing with those feelings, those memories, those stories that still have some kind of ownership over your inner space, over your inner feelings, over things that somehow freak you out. Now, this is a tool I learned probably 40 years ago. And every time I use it, it does make a difference. It's called blowing up pictures. So this is the idea. Say you have some kind of a memory that was traumatic, something maybe way back in your childhood. And every time you think of it, every time it surfaces, you kind of go, ah. Typically, the first symptom of a trauma picture is we stop breathing. It's like a catch of the breath. So this is how I was taught to use it, and I suggest you try the same. For a few days, maybe starting today, notice, pay attention to every time you stop breathing. You'll probably be surprised how many times a day that actually happens. I was shocked. And so you're going to go, oh, I stopped breathing. Oh, here I go, I stopped breathing. After the first couple of days, you're going to be able to get some inner awareness about that. I stopped breathing. The second thing you do after you notice you stop breathing, you start to trace it back. What was just said? What just happened? Oh, somebody said something funny, like, Linda, your mother dresses you funny. And you say, well, what does that remind me of? And you trace that back. And usually you'll go back to an image, a frozen picture, we call it, in your history bank. And I'm going to give an illustration of one of those stories in my own life. So anytime someone would say to me something like, your mother dresses you funny, or what is that you're wearing, or anything about my external appearance, particularly in my clothing line, I would usually freeze up. Now, you have to remember that, some of us didn't grow up in wealthy families, and a lot of our clothes came from Goodwill, or were less than pretty, or didn't always fit right, or we had a lot of trauma around appearance as we were little kids. There were 3 of us in our household, and I was the oldest. Not that it matters, but when someone says your mother dresses you funny, the memory that comes to me is this one, and it still has a bit of a catch, even though I've blown up this picture multiple times. I would think I was in 2nd or 3rd grade. Pretty sure it was 3rd grade. maybe even fourth, but I think I was about 9. And we had dress-up day at school. Everybody was supposed to wear some kind of an outfit. It wasn't Halloween, it was just dress-up day. And we were out in the schoolyard, and they had this big bench up there, and the kids were sitting up on the bench. And my mom sent me to school thinking it was really cute with her long black taffeta skirt tied around my waist so it would fit all the way to the floor, and beads, and topless. And I was old enough to, beads around my neck, I was old enough to be anxious about that. I was old enough to feel shame. I had my little arms up, and there's actually a photograph of me somewhere sitting on that shelf with all the little kids with my arms crossed, trying to cover my little breasts, which were only hidden by a few beads. And so I put little Linda up here, topless, beads, and a skirt. That's it. That's my picture that I can still get triggered off of. So if I stop breathing when I talk about that story, what does that remind me of? It reminds me of that traumatic day. Now, what happened that day was not good. My teacher didn't say, "Hey, Linda, come with me. Let me put a little scarf around your shirt. Or let's send you home. You just live across the street. Let's have your mom send you back with a little better top." Now, I'm saying the teacher probably was busy and had 30 kids and a lot going on and didn't notice. Or maybe this was one of those karmic opportunities where I was going to learn some stuff and still talk about it 50, 60, 70 years later. Who knows? All I know is that's a picture. Now, every one of you has pictures, trauma memories, that when you think of them, you'll stop breathing. See? Stop breathing. So anything you can breathe through, you can live through. Anything I can breathe through, I can live through. So this is how blowing up pictures works. We imagine this picture of the little girl on the shelf, topless, scared in her beads. And we think of that in full color. Ooh, let's take a picture. Full bright color. There, and it's loaded with emotion. Now we're going to take some magic scissors. Take that photo, take some magic scissors, cut the corner, and let the drain out the emotion. The anxiety, the fear, the shock, the shame, the nobody cares, I feel alone. All those feelings get to drain out. Let's breathe them out, let them go. And whatever that is in your story, you can do this too with your memory bank. Now, what will be left if you take the color and the emotion out of that picture? It's just a black and white negative. So you've still got a memory, but it's not holding a charge anymore. Okay, it's taken out that strong emotional trauma energy out of that memory. Now we can do some other things about that. And you can save them negative and say, oh, I'm going to save that for when I do this videos 30, 40, 50 years from now about blowing up pictures. There's my story I'm going to use as an example. So I still have the memory. And truthfully, I still have a little emotional charge on it, even after all these years. So every time you stop breathing, you want to take a moment and go back. What does that remind me of? And how does that make me feel? And then you take a breath. And blow out the charge. Blow out the fear. Blow out the anxiety. Blow out the I feel helpless. Okay, blow it out. Release it. You might add to that something magical. Maybe there's some kind of an angel. There's an angel in the wings. No pun intended, an angel in the wings. And the angel's going to take that emotion and fly it up to God. Fly it up to God to let it go. God will take care of this. Can you see how you can have an imagination, or give it to Archangel Michael, or give it to Jesus, or give it to Buddha, or give it all to all that is, or sending back to the universe, back to nothingness from whence it came. If you make a mental choice to do something with that energy, or you send it down the roots of your tailbone down to the center of the earth and give it to the earth as fertilizer, find a way to release and let it go. And take a deep breath and blow it out. Might take another deep breath and blow away that fear, anxiety, trauma memory. Just let it go. If you don't work with it, you could feel shattered. I did this painting a few years ago of feeling shattered after an emotional experience. Just exploding all over the space. We're trying to come back in. We're trying to make our body our safe place. These little tools, day by day, inch by inch, slowly I turned. We want to be able to make our body our home, our energetic home, our feelings home, our safe place to live, love, hang out. If you have too many traumatic pictures in there, it could be the reason why every time you turn around, you're getting triggered. I can't stand that memory. I can't stand that memory. Let me eat it. Let me chug it. Let me drink it. Let me drug it. Let me have another cookie or whatever. Some kind of toxic food item that isn't for my highest good. Not trying to rub this in, trying to gently give you this as another way to deal with the feelings that have up until now made it hard for you to stay present, stay conscious, stay here, so you don't split off, so you don't numb out. The point of power is in the now, in the present, in the body. If a situation's so scary you want to take your body, if you want to leave your body, if a situation's so scary you want to leave your body, take your body with you. Don't leave it there to be traumatized. Now that little girl, she couldn't leave. She was at school, there were rules about walking away. She certainly didn't know she could disobey and say, I'm going home, I'm scared. She didn't even know she could say, I'm scared and ashamed and embarrassed. She just sat there in her pain. But God, she's serving me today. She is serving all of us today. She is giving us an opportunity to rethink those crummy experiences. God bless you, little Linda. God bless you. God bless you for your vulnerability and for your strength and for your courage to show up today again. Topless in a picture, right here, right now. And if I really love her, I might bring her down. And I might say, here, sweetheart, we can do better. Let's wrap you up. Let's hold you. You don't have to be vulnerable anymore. You don't have to be scared anymore. I love you. I see you. I care about you. And so if you can do this for your little Linda or your little Steve or your little Mary, Any part of yourself that's been disowned and lost and forgotten for whatever reason, for whatever memories, bring them back home. Love them. Hold them. You can physically love and hold yourself. Hug yourself now. Can you see how the fear can leave when we hug and connect with ourselves? Now I have other things I use when I'm really triggered. I used to work with autistic kids, and I learned that autistic kids, who are also extremely highly sensitive, as I am, and many of us are, highly sensitive, covering her up, are overly sensitive on a physical or skin level. One of the things autistic kids use, and I've used successfully, is a heavy weighted blanket. They suggest you get it about 10% of your body weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you'd get a 20-pound one. If you're 100 pounds, you'd get a 10-pound one accordingly. And anytime I'm really anxious, I'll just sit down on my recliner or lay down on my bed and cover up with my weighted blanket. Usually the dogs get on top of me too, and that, no problem. Or another thing I find very comforting, I'm not really believing in killing animals for their fur, but I found this beautiful piece of fur for $6 at a thrift shop. I mean, it's already gone, and it's the softest. So when I'm anxious, I just hold this, put it on my skin, or I hold my cat or my dog and feel softer and safer. And usually I'm not breathing when I'm holding this. I start out like, ah! And I try to just like, okay, be present, come back inside, feel the softness, let that experience override that fear, trauma, anxiety that I've been feeling. And you might say, what does this have to do with weight loss? It has everything to do with it. Do you get that? Everything. As long as we're using food as a drug to numb out fear, anxiety, hurt, loneliness, suffering, and our life has too much of all those things, we're going to end up heavier than we need or want to be, heavier than our health can sustain. Let's take a moment, close your eyes. We make a little prayer. Father God, Father, Mother God, somehow we're together right now. And every single person watching this video right now has some kind of concern, some kind of memory, some kind of stuck energy that has held space, has terrorized or immobilized or frozen or diminished this beautiful soul sense of power, efficacy, normalcy, comfort, life, zeal, and joy. And God, you know who they are and what they need. And we're asking you to take away, to lift off, to release from them now that which no longer serves. They've learned the lesson. They've learned its gift. And today, this very moment, we're releasing it now, taking a breath and blowing away that picture. We're taking the color out of it, the charge out of it. Yes, we are. Linda's eyes itching, and she's not pretending that isn't happening. And now we're just going to have a black and white negative. Oh, I remember when I used to feel that way. I remember when I used to leave my body over that memory. I remember, but I don't need to have the anxiety piece. I don't need to hold on to the trauma, the tension, the frozen energy that makes me just want to stuff this. I'm giving it to you, God. I'm giving it to you right now. And if for some reason it jumps back into my memory or it's re-triggered, I'll blow it up again. And I'll blow it up again. And I'll release it again until it's neutral. Because I have a body, I have a mind, I have breath, I have consciousness. I can do hard things. I have an inner child, and I'm learning to feed myself love first. My inner kid is the core part of my healing journey. There is no weight loss without healing my inner kid. And thank you, God, for helping me understand this and apply this and take care of him or her. Now, if I need to go get a piece of fur or a heavy blanket, heavy weighted blanket, or if I need to take some time out and just breathe and pray, or if I need to stop and cry, or do a journal, or make a gratitude list, or just realize that being here with my little community on Inner Kid Keto is a safe place for me to come and day by day release that which no longer serves me, I'm okay with that. And there's going to be days I can't handle it. There's going to be days I can't watch this. There are going to be days when I have to flick off and go away. And I honor those days too. Those days where it's too hard, too overwhelming, too scary. But with your help, higher power, there will be other days when I can come back and watch and breathe and take it in and release it out. And for this, I do give thanks. So friends, maybe I'll see you tomorrow morning for another wake up on the Inner Kid Keto path, where we'll learn more tools, more ways to cope with the feeling side of food recovery. I used to work for Jenny Craig. I've been in 12-Step Away. I've been in a lot of different things, Weight Watchers, a lot of different groups. And I always felt like they didn't spend enough time on feelings. I just thought feelings are the biggest part of this for me. And maybe it is for everybody else too, or many of us. Or we lose the weight, but then we gain them back because those gosh darn feelings keep coming back. So we'll talk more about feelings. Probably every day we'll talk something about feelings. And if there's a safe place to talk about feelings and a safe place to feel feelings, that's a gift. That's a gift in my life. More and more, we're going to give you tools and opportunities to process and heal that which has forced you in to the refrigerator, the cupboards, the candy store, the stuffing, the hiding, the shaming. Those ways of coping are going into the back, into the memory bank. Cut the energy out and keep the memory. Yes, I remember what that was like, but that no longer owns me or serves me. Okay, everyone, see you tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Thanks for showing up today. Bless you.